All right, guys, we're here with the sandbag. I'm not going to push sandbags for sure. Still pretty nervous about my hand, pushing my hand at all, as well as my arm. This is a great one to start on. Got a couple of clients, and you know who you are, that are working on loading sandbags right now for a contest. And it's really, really wild. Over the last few weeks, I've seen the same thing over and over. I've seen clients go to load sandbags over bar, and I think they're too far away. The issue is you feel like you're close enough when you're setting up, and you don't want to hit your head on the bar or the bar that you're going over. And that's legit. I've hit my head on Atlas stone platforms, bars, and things like that several times. What I want you to think about, or what's happening is what I'm seeing is people are getting up here, and then they're having to take a step. Usually it's with their right leg, whatever their dominant leg is, to get it over. Not this big, but a little. Time and time again, I've seen people go to load sandbags at a competition. The bag is light, it's no big deal. When the bag gets heavy or when they're fatigued and it's at the end of a run, you end up missing because that extra step, you might cut a corner or two and it doesn't quite go over the bar, or you have to really, really force and fight to get it over. I want to prevent you from doing that as much as possible. So rather than giving you a bunch of cues of where your feet should be, where your body should be at the start, I want you to look at it from a slightly different perspective. I want you to look at it as, where does your body need to be on the load? People, if you miss it from the ground, you really have a very small chance, if someone even handed it to you in your lap, of actually loading it. So what I want you to think about, where do you need it for the load? Where does your body need to be at the finish? That's where you're most likely to miss. You can be in a strange position at the start because you're probably still strong enough to pick it up, get it to your lap, and go from there. But you'll still miss it on the load. Let me see if I can kind of go in here and give you an example. Now that I've talked about it, no way it's going to happen right, but let's see. All right, what feels right here is I bend down, and I'm going to hit my head here when I bend over. You don't want to bend over anyway. You're going to go straight down. So what I want to do, and I have a general idea where I want this, and even with Atlas stones, I still set up too far away. And it makes a difference whether I'm using a small stone or a big stone. So you kind of have to practice and get a pretty good idea where you want. If you're doing bag over bar, stone over bar, it's the same stone, same bag over and over. You just kind of find your rough spot. So let me see here. This feels like where I want to be because I don't want to bang my head. But just want you to think a little bit different here. Oh my goodness. I already bumped my head, haven't I? What I want, wherever I'm at the load position, am I too far away right now? I may not be, but am I going to have to step at any point to get it over? Or am I going to be the guy that's explosive enough to get it over? You need to figure that out. Figure out where your loading point is here on the bag, how high you get it up on the body with that stone or bag, and where you need to be. You don't want to clip your fingers. That's for doggone sure. But can you get into this, like glute ham raise, triple extension position? And once you figure out where your loading position is and your timing and your rhythm, that's a rough idea where you need your feet at. And of course, you guys know that I'm really big at giving one cue at a time. So we can give a bunch of different cues on things you can do, think about, but you can't think a whole lot while you're lifting at max effort. Kind of has to be second nature. So that's where we want to practice. If you've got a rubber mat on the floor, especially if you're at a gym that's not yours, take some chalk. Once you figure out where you need to be on the ground, you should have a tape measure in your gym bag anyway, especially on contest day. What guy doesn't have a tape measure on him at all times? Get a pretty good idea. Okay, platform is here. I know roughly I need my feet 1.5, maybe 1 3/4, maybe even 2 away in order to make that load and get my elbows above the bar, depending on the height of the platform. See, you can go head one side or the other with a light bag, right? And if you're getting reps, it's a light bag. So don't be afraid to bend that head over to one side or the other if it allows you to get a little bit closer. One more so I can say I did 3. I'm a big fan of doing 3s. There's a good song on the radio I'm dying to sing. I won't put you guys through the torture. So determine your finishing stance and let that be somewhere really, really close to your starting stance. Let the rest of your body move around it.